want to talk about today is the fact that your coworkers, whether it be your boss, a subordinate, or someone on your level, they ain't your friends. Y'all could hang out after work, y'all could know things about each other's lives, y'all could be cool. But unless this person was genuinely your friend before you started working there, like you knew them before you even heard of the company that you worked for, 9 times out of 10, that motherfucker ain't your friend. Story time. So, about 10 years ago, no, a little over 10 years ago, I worked at a pretty well-established burger joint. I was put on by the district manager at the time. He's probably moved on to bigger, better things by now. And he actually recruited me from the last spot that I was at. He was also the district manager over there. Recruited me to be a manager at the new spot because he saw that that ship was sinking. And he tried to save those that he could, and I was one of them. So he put me at this, actually the most busiest spot in the city, and it was cool. I was cool with that. Everybody was cool with me. I got hired. There was no problem. I was working. I was fairly young, 21 going on 22, around that age. I was fairly young, but I had a lot of management experience. I was a manager since I was 18, so, you know, it's not like I didn't know how to do the job. But again, I stress the point that I was fairly young, which means I was kind of immature. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty much immature. I was a bit emotional and in my feelings a lot. I was immature. As a man, I just wasn't there all the way, but I was still a kid technically. In my mind, I thought I wasn't, but now that I look back, yeah, I really was. But all the 5011 employees was also 18, 19, 20, 21. So we're all within the same age range. All the other managers, though, were in their late 30s, early 40s, and the general manager was in her late 50s, mid 50s, late 50s. So I'm sticking out like a sore thumb, you know. When I go to manager meetings, it's who the hell is this guy? Like this, you know. So like, you could sense certain things. So as time went on, as time progressed, I'm not really the type of person who likes to go out and do things with people that I don't really know like that. Not that I don't like meeting new people or something like that. I just don't. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, no new friends. You feel me? So that's because I don't know y'all like that and we work together. I already know, you know what I mean? If I ain't know you from before or what have you, I don't know what you're trying to do right now, so I'm not even going to give you the chance to try and play me or mold me to whatever you want me to be. I'm going to be me regardless. So there was a little bit of animosity there. I guess they felt like I was better than them, when really I was just trying to do my work and then go home, put in my 10 hours and go home. It's New York City, so, you know, back then if you wanted to be a salaried manager making a certain amount of money, 10 hours was the norm, minimum, to work a day. Probably still is. I don't know. I haven't done that in a minute. I removed myself from that situation as far as working 10 hours for salary, because that's just, in my opinion, slavery. But I digress. So as time progressed, you know, I finished training. They kept inviting me to baseball games, kept inviting me out to drink, and, you know, basketball games and certain events throughout the city that we would get free tickets to, because again, this was a well-established burger joint, a part of a well-established company, so it had its perks. You know, I mean, I'm still reaping some of the benefits of those perks till today, from working with that company as just part of the package, working with that company. Like, it comes with perks. A lot of companies do that, especially when they up there in terms of notoriety. So, as I'm working and, you know, just being me, sticking to myself, doing my own thing, you know, being cool with people, you know, of course there'll be instances where, oh, this person has a problem with you just because, or that person didn't like the way you said that, or that person doesn't like the fact that you do this, and there's always going to be somebody who has a problem with something that you do, the way you do it, or the way you said it. I don't let those things faze me nor bother me. The thing that bothered me was the stories. Like, for instance, if I got off of work at 8 and other people was also scheduled to get off work at 8, Certain people, they be like, oh, you walking over here, oh, I'm gonna walk with you. Or you going over here, I'm gonna go with you. Or yo, I'm going over here, come with me. Or I'm about to check this out, come check it out with me. Normally I don't really do that, but if I'm walking that direction and you walking that direction, then fine, fuck it, we gonna walk together. And usually when you're walking together, you're gonna talk, you're gonna walk, and you're gonna talk. So mind you, like, I don't really like to put my personal business out there like that in general. Like, even people closest to me don't know exactly what the fuck is going on 100% in my life. Like, they probably know no more than 20% of what's going on, and that's barely. So as I'm walking and I'm talking, they share certain things about them in their life. I share certain things about me in my life, not real personal, just like, oh, where I used to work, or who I know in the company, things like that. So people being people, and kids being kids, high school mentality still fresh. Gossip, rumors, I'm this, I'm that, don't take the job seriously, I'm scheming, I'm blah 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 blah. Cool. I don't care, because again, it's rumors. Like, I don't give no oxygen to bullshit. It became a problem when the general manager started pulling me to the side and talking to me about stuff like, we understand that, you are pretty young, and, it's not like you're not doing a great job, but you got to remember that, you're a manager and you can't blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, where's this even coming from? What made you, it's come to my attention that you've been, hanging out with people outside of work and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? Who? See, people are gonna make up shit about you when they don't know about you. And the only way that you can mitigate that is to be on your shit, is to be on your grind, and to keep your mouth shut. Let's keep it a stack. If you see that certain things are happening and you don't know exactly where it's coming from, again, it's like 11 people. I try to be cool with everybody because, again, I'm managing. I ain't trying to be a dick. I'm trying to, make sure everybody's cool. But it's certain people who are just gonna hate on you because they wanted your spot, or they just don't want you in that spot. You feel me? Like, people will stab you in the back just to get a step up. You know what I'm saying? They think that being the house snitch is gonna create favor in the boss's eyes. And you might solidify a spot as the house snitch, but I'm letting you know right now, they know that you're the house snitch, and to them, you still a bitch. You see what I'm saying? Like, people will throw you under the bus just to secure a seat. And the sad part is, it'll be the people who pretend like they cool with you. And I say that because at the end of it, I found out who was the one coming up with the stories, who was the one dishing out most of it. And honestly, it was the person that was being the nicest to me in the whole entire place. You feel me? And the problem was, the thing that got me, I barely even fuck with this chick. I mean, we never had I ain't never walked with her to no train station. I ain't never go nowhere with her. I ain't never spend no real time alone. Yeah, we had little chats here and there. She would try to, how can I put it? Kiss my ass, but I don't like ass kisses. So, I just brushed that shit off like, oh, alright. Like, I see who you are. I don't really fuck with it. But because of her kissing ass, certain people are gonna, listen to what they gotta say. So, and it was a culture in there of kissing ass and schmoozing, it just, and I just refused to do it. Keeping 100. I ain't gonna kiss nobody's ass. I'm not a brown noser. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather let my work speak for itself. I'm not about to, big up somebody who really don't deserve it, and I'm not about to, beat up somebody's ass just to solidify a position. I'd rather create my own or move the fuck on. So the first instance was a rumor that I was playing favorites to those who would walk home with me not walk home, but like walk to a train station or walk to a destination that I was already headed in. And I get it, like it was a little brown nose tactic, but a lot of it was, yo, I kind of look up to you because you my age and you in a position that people 10 years older than you is in. How you do it? Let me pick your brain to see what type of mentality, what type of personality and tenacity that you have to reach these heights. And it don't look like you stopping. It don't look like you're struggling. Even though you new in this position, it looks like you've been doing this for years. And it was admiration and curiosity. You see what I'm saying? And I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm all for the each one teach one. I'm all for, putting my brothers and sisters on to game. You know what I mean? But for those who actually want it, not for those who just want to hear me talk. Because I hate just talking if nobody's listening. I'd rather just shut the fuck up. So that was the first instance of me choosing favorites. All right, cool. So I just stopped, walking to the train station, going to nearby events. This is in the middle of the city. I'm not gonna tell you the location because it's gonna give away the location of where I was working at, but it's in the middle of the city, pretty busy part. So a lot of events happen there, a lot, especially during the summer when I was working, and that was the main time I was working. I worked there from like 6 months, from like May to like November, some shit like that. But it was 6-7 months that I worked there. And I got fired. I keep it 100. I got fired. It's whatever. Honestly, if I ain't get fired, I was gonna quit. Cause I'm about to tell you. So that was strike one. Don't play favorites. I'm the same age as everybody else, so it's already not the best situation. Blah 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 blah. AKA age comes with authority, but I was never one who gave a fuck about people's norms or what's societal norms. One of the main thing was I didn't go to college, and I got put on by somebody who's high up in the company. You know what I mean? So it can't just be they just looked at me as golden child who got affirmative action. For any other type of terms, it wasn't on like I earned this spot on my own merit, which is cool. Y'all don't know me, but the person who put me on does know me, and I'm not asking for you to level the playing field. I'm just saying let me on and let me level it myself. But it came to the point where it was them versus me, and it became apparent. We would have little pre-shift meetings, and we would have team building exercises, and it was basically meant so we could all get to know each other and become closer as a team, things like that. And in my honest opinion, it's bullshit. You know what I mean? Most of us don't really want to give our personal information out there like that. 2 truths and a lie. What's your biggest fear? What's your dreams? And all that shit is personal, my nigga. Like, I ain't trying to do all that, so I'll just bullshit my way through it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm one person who, I used to, especially back then, I used to joke my way out of shit. So, if I'll be like, it's awkward, I'm uncomfortable, let me crack a joke right now, make everybody laugh, let's move on. Forget about what was just said. I do that a lot. I used to do that a lot. So it would be instances where they'd say a joke. When I say they, I meant the managers. So it's 3 of them. It was 3 managers when I was there, and the general manager. So 4 altogether. So it would be 4 of us and 50-11 of them. Literally 50-11, because it was a minimum of 55 employees that was working there in the moment in time. And it was 60 plus during the summer because it was busier. So between any given time during the shift, you was managing 11 employees. I am not kidding. It was 20 something employees, bro, that you was managing by yourself on the shift. And I was doing it flawlessly. So one thing I didn't like was the fact that we were all men. And they would do a lot of passive aggressive shit instead of coming straight to me to talk. Like, I get it. You want me to go out and get a drink with you so we could talk about this shit. You want to hit a baseball game. You want to hit a basketball game. Get a little bit of bonding so we could talk about this shit. Get me in line to what y'all want me to do. But I ain't one that follows what everybody else do. You know what I'm saying? So because I ain't ever accept these invitations to officially join the crew, it was clear and apparent, not just to me, but to everybody on the team, that I was being pushed out or pushed on to the side. And the team would tell me a lot, like, oh, that was messed up what they did, and oh, why they had to say it like that, and they didn't have to treat you like. I'd be like, yo, it is what it is. I'm just here to do my job. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. So things started changing in terms of how they put me on the schedule to manage. So it was like I started getting supervised. You know what I'm saying? I would do swing shifts. So swing shifts pretty much means you there for both morning and night. You there from afternoon to pretty much early evening. So again, like from like 10 to 10 or 10 to 8. That was my schedule now. Before, I was the opener or I was the closer, and then all of a sudden now it was like, we can't trust this guy to be with these people alone. It's basically we're letting them run amok. He needs supervision, because at a certain point they stopped going to them, and them as in the other managers, the other 3 managers that I was working with, in terms of if they needed anything, if they needed days off, if they needed any type of training, if they needed any type of advancement or any type of information. It stopped the flow of, what? Let me not ask. I'm just gonna use a generic name. Let me not ask John. Instead, I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask him, and you could see the frustration in their faces when that would happen. When the team would prefer speaking to me. Like, I'd be on break and everybody would come and try to be on break with me, or I'll be doing something, everybody would try to come and learn to see what I was doing, or because I have no problem putting people on. Again, like, I'm not gonna keep information from you because of oh, I'm a manager and you don't need to know this, so focus on. No, if that person is curious and to learn what I'm doing, I'm gonna teach them, because at the end of the day, if anything were to happen, God forbid, I can just easily ask them to do it. No, it's not their responsibility, so I'm not going to depend on them to do it, but they have the curiosity to learn how to do it, which means they want to learn how to do it. So that means at one point in time they're gonna want to do it. So they either have the curiosity to want to move up, or they don't, and ain't no shame in nothing. So for those who pretty much kind of looking up to me, because again, I'm your age and I'm in a position that usually is 10, the people that's 10 or 20 years older than me, they were a little bit more, comfortable with coming to me to talk about shit. So that was strike 2. Strike 1 was the rumors, and I'm treating people with favoritism. Strike 2 was now I don't know what's the word. Now I don't know, being a dictator. Like, I don't know. I'm taking power from those who have it, I guess. And it's not like I'm over here saying, nah, I don't go talk to John. Nah, I don't go talk to Mike. Nah, I don't go talk to Lewis. And these are not their names, by the way. So they're not their real names. But nah, I don't go talk to them. Talk to HR instead. Go talk to him. I never said that. I never did that. It's just something that just happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're all in the same age group. Of course, we're going to gravitate towards each other. Of course, we're going to talk about the same stuff. Of course, the same things that's going to, pique your interest is going to pique my interest. We're from the same culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, so those things, it's kind of natural. strike 3, well, after strike 2, I got a warning. And at that point, I'm gonna be honest, I checked out. Because that second meeting with the GM was enlightening, to say the least. I mean, I'm a manager, so I'm all about responsibility and accountability. But when I'm not purposely doing anything to change the flow of things, and then yet I still get held accountable, I had to say, like, that's not my fault. And she just didn't care. The GM was a woman. She just didn't care. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of meetings going on, and I was told this later, that the meetings would happen on my days off. So the managers was having meetings without me. When I came back from my days off, and I was told that, I pretty much knew right then and there there was a wrap for me. You see what I'm saying? So I pretty much started off, on the back track, trying to get myself on Front Street. But if certain people, if you don't want to play their game, then they ain't gonna let you win. And honestly, it was a blessing. I wasn't about to keep it 100, because that company will run you like a fucking dog and then toss you out like you wasn't nothing. Like they'll dog the shit out of you, for real. And again, like I said, I don't do that shit no more because it's like slavery. But strike number 3, keep it a stack. I take full responsibility. Again, I checked out. I ain't really give a fuck no more at that moment in time. I was already looking for other work, and I was just going through the motions. So this place had private security. We dealt with a lot of money, cash. So there would be 2 private security guards, one in front, one in back, plain clothes. One obvious because they'd be right by the door, by where we keep the safe, and one would just be in the crowd outside, just, you know what I mean, in case. So when they show up, they'll announce themselves to the manager on duty, so you know who the fuck they are, because you never know, the company might send somebody new today, so you have to know, if some shit go down, who the hell am I trying to get the attention of, not just yelling out to the whole crowd, security. So it was one night I was counting money, and there was this football that was there, and the one of the employees was like, yo, can you just toss that to me real quick? He was probably like 100 feet from the door, and it's a football, right? So what would you do? You throw it. Now mind you, before I picked up the football, before I threw it at him, I put the money in the safe, closed the door to the closet where the safe was, and took the football out, of course. Went out the door, right? Now mind you, the security guard knew I was counting money, because before you start counting money, you gotta let him know, I'm about to start counting money, because a bunch of cash is about to be out in the open, be on your P's and Q's. This motherfucker snitched on me. He told the GM that in the middle of me counting money, I put the money down, exposed the entire cash hold to the public, just to toss one of the employees a football. And I'm like, wow, that's a reach, but you know what though? I'm gonna go. No problem, because all this animosity, all this trying to get me initiated, all this trying to get me to play by your standards and your rules, And don't get me wrong, of course this is work, and rules is rules, and standards is standards, and the way I was trained is the way I should work, and the way I should work is the way everybody should work, and the way I treat people should be professional. But at the very same time, and again, I'm not saying that it wasn't justified in firing me, but Jesus H. Christ, if that was the reason that you picked to do it, then you just look for any reason. You know what I'm saying? So you got to remember, the people that work with you, even if they don't know you, even if they know you, they ain't your friends, bro. They're not your friends. So act accordingly. Now, looking back, I should have been like, yo, nah, you got to come get that, instead of throwing it. You know what I'm saying? Even though I did do all the as much safety procedures as I can, including having a person standing there with a motherfucking gun on his hip right by the door, pretty much it just wasn't conducive, because I started counting it, I stopped counting it, and whatever my excuse was, you know what I'm saying, again, they was already having meetings without me. So it was game over to begin with, because I wasn't trying to be down with the crew, with the boys, and keep it 100. I already saw how they move, and it was fake as fuck, so I wasn't trying to even be, with them. So at the end of the day, save yourself, cover your own ass, and don't trust the people that you work with, because again, they'll throw you under the bus just to secure a seat.